Chi, go, look, chich, hunch. So it's like these are basically 3 ways to do it. So you could leg, hip, hand together. Leg, hip, hand together. So you're kind of slightly rotating in so your body mass is behind it. What you can also do is you can kind of catapult. So you can pull your hip back, not pull your hand and hip, but pull your hip back, drive forward. This fitting, yeah? We're trying, but most of you, I think, we're doing this. Rotate, 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 rotate. Now, I think there's a bit of a problem with that if you're thinking rotation, rotation, because on the point of execution, your body mass is moving in the opposite direction. And you're kind of counter-rotating to the punch. And some of you are doing this a little bit too much. What you should try to do really is think drive, then squeeze. Drive, squeeze. So you close your stance. You drive, close. Drive, close. So you have this thing. Then it looks like I'm doing this. I'm not. I'm rotating and squeezing my inner thigh muscles, my abdomen, my pelvis to get compression. I'm not rotating, 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 rotating. It's really important to kind of figure out what you're doing. You're getting your body mass, you're moving it at speed, and you're putting a weapon at the end. Nothing else. And so to stop, wiggle your hip and then punch. Like if you think that's more powerful, then it's kind of you're just fooling yourself, right? It's kind of like this habitual motion. So to have that ability to kind of keep your hips square and keep this core engaged without breaking your center line, to keep it engaged right the way through, and then through that course put your punch in, is kind of like really important. And if you need to do it slowly to get that muscle memory, then that's what you should do. Understand? Yes. Because for sure there's no way that you would punch someone like this. If you're going to punch them, boom, you're going to punch them and you're just going to let your body mass go in. And you're going to use that kind of ability to shore up your body, to reinforce your body at the point of impact to create power. It's basically what everyone's used to, but just a little bit different. So I want you to feel like you've got your tanden, your center of gravity. I want you to feel like you're pulling everything into your tanden. So that means your adductor muscles, your inner thigh muscles coming up, your abdomen coming up. But also, if it's only your abdomen, then you tilt your pelvis, that's not so good. You want to think about your back and your glutes as well. Everything coming in to kind of balance your body. So you're not kind of having any sort of kind of rotation or like tilt with your hips. You want to maintain that Shizen position. So you're letting your fist fly, letting it go, sending it with that leg, and then from here you're engaging that core to kind of shore up your body at the point of impact. And then you maintain your form but relaxation. So you send, shore up your body. Send, shore up your body. This thing. Now superficially, that kind of looks like but you can see there's a huge difference, right? When you step and punch, we're trying to synchronize our like leg and arm, right? So you know, if I'm synchronizing my leg and arm, I don't want to synchronize the same leg, same arm. Like I'm punching with my right hand. I don't want to synchronize my right arm with my right leg. I don't want to synchronize these two. I want to synchronize this leg and this arm. So this arm is bent, this leg is bent. This arm is straight, this leg is straight-ish. So I want to synchronize the of this leg and this arm together. You understand? So I'm keeping this engaged. I'm going to engage this even more. Then from here I'm going to extend this leg and I'm going to extend this arm together. 1, 2, feeling. And it's this that I'm synchronizing. Okay, and then as soon as you start thinking about that, then really the wiggle of the hip is less important. If you're trying to go dong, dong, then this then kind of takes over. But if you're just thinking this leg, this hand, keep my core engaged, not tight, but engaged, so I'm not breaking my line, and then just synchronizing them together. Synchronizing them together, then my body mass is going to be behind my technique. You understand? We use our hips to kind of create power, but we only use our hips to create power is because the rotation of your hip is transferring body mass. So, if we're rotating our hip from Hamni to Shomin to make Gakuzuki, then it's because we're transferring body mass from our back leg to our front leg during the course of the execution of the punch, which creates power, right? But when we step forward, 100% of our body mass is already going forward. So to use our hips is waste of time. Like, just to stop our body mass forward so that we can rotate our hip is really counterproductive. Because already all our body mass is going forward. So why stop, rotate to kind of create body mass movements, yeah? It's pointless. So, but what we do is that as we transition forward, probably our leading leg does go a little bit forward, and at the end we kind of shore up our body again, which looks like we're rotating our hips, but we're not. We're just kind of creating that shime, that closure of our body, in order to create the punch. But if you exaggerate that, it kind of looks like this. Do you understand? So I just want you to think about trying to limit the amount that your leading hip will go forward. Hip square, maintain that hip square right the way through your motion. Keep hip square right the way through that motion, rather than wiggle. Blocking position for Sotuke, Uchuke, like people will describe it as identical. So, this is the Sotuke, Uchuke, you don't know what technique I've done. Whether I've gone this way or this way, you don't know what technique I've done. If you just see the end position. The end position is identical, but the blocking position is very different. So this is not the blocking position, this is the end position. Yeah, just like this is not the punching position, this is the end of the punch. The punching position is here, this is where I punch someone. You understand? It's a bit like saying, do you know what this technique is? No, this is Maigeri. This is Maigeri. Like, because that's the end point of Maigeri. Is that Oizuki? Is that the punching point of Oizuki? Or is that the blocking point of Sotuku Uchuki? No. Like the impact phase, the blocking, striking phase of Maigeri is maybe about here. The punching position is about here. The blocking position is not here. The blocking position is here or here. This is the blocking position. This is the blocking position. Not this. Not this. Do you understand? Hip then becomes important to have it with the timing of the blocking part. The blocking phase of the technique rather than the finishing phase of the technique. So you have this hip rotation as you make that position. Same with stepping back, yeah? Now then finish. Not step, then this prepare, yeah? Without exception, the faster that you're doing it, the worse you are. Like, I swear, I'm not seeing anybody do it slowly badly. Everyone who's doing it slowly is kind of mindful of what they're doing and is really trying, and they're kind of making good effort and making good progress. Anyone who's kind of flicky at the end or moving the hand, like, it's just a hand move motion. This is not karate, right? Like a boxer doesn't box like this. You know what I mean? They're constantly using their body and everything is behind it. So we have to kind of take our time and get coordination. Speed is your ego. Timing is what really good karate is about. Do you understand? So just that ability to kind of have that sense of expanding into stance. Using all your body. Without the need to, oh, that felt good. Do you understand? You have to be really strict with yourself. Most important element in karate, to become good at karate, is not dedication, it's not talent, it's not fitness, it's none of those things, it's discernment. Do you recognize what is good and what is bad? If you recognize what is good and what is bad, you'll be able to recognize in your own training what you're doing. And you'll strip away all the bad things, and what you'll be left with is good things. Do you understand? So this is nothing. Timing of your body. This is what you're looking for. And then you can have speed up. I think an awful lot of people, when they're kicking maigeri, you're opening your abdomen, you're leaning back, and you're pushing your hips forward, maybe in a belief that it's going to create power, and you're kicking high, or if you're stepping forward like this, and there's this level of movement when you kick, right? Now, the problem with this is that you have to compress your abdomen in order to bring your knee up. You're compressing your abdomen this way. And the moment that you start to lean, it really kind of prevents you from compressing your abdomen. And the thing about compressing your abdomen, it means that your body mass is behind your technique. If you're leaning, maybe you can kick high, and maybe you're going to kick someone in the face with maigeri, but like there'll be no mass behind it. And this is kind of fundamentally flawed. Yeah, we have to make sure that we have our body mass behind the technique. Also, the ability to twitch from your core in order to produce the maigeri is reliant on this engagement of your core. So if you're constantly ingraining this opening of your abdomen in order to kick, then the end bit, the bit that you can see, will be fast, because by that point it's reached that velocity. But the start of the technique is going to be really slow. And that's the bit your partner can see. Do you understand? So I think just that twitching from your core, like when you're initiating your technique, you're initiating from your core to produce the maigeri, is probably the most important aspect of the technique, rather than kicking high and sacrificing everything else for it. Understand? If I've got my left leg forward, okay, maybe I can see my left leg and my left hand, but most of the things are behind me. So until it starts to get in front of you, you don't really recognize what you're doing. So there's a lot of like, oh, that maigeri was good. You understand? Rather than kind of having that discernment to go, okay, I'm twitching from my core, or like the moshigeri. And for sure the last 50% is good, but it's that part. And then the last 50% will take care of itself. It's that initiation. The better you become at karate, the more you're going from the last 10% to the first 10%. When we start karate, it's the last 1%. This is karate. You know, it's right at the end, okay, this is karate. And then we go, oh yeah, that's karate. And then, oh, that's karate. And, oh, that's karate. Until eventually we're like, oh yeah, that's karate. That's karate. Oh, right there. That initiation is what we're looking for in everything that we do. How you can kick, how can you engage your stomach and produce that kick. And I want you to try as best as possible to consistently hit that mark. Understand? That's all. I don't want you to use your upper body. I don't want you to kind of be reaching for it. Like if you stopped your kick, you're probably in that kind of midway. Like if you think about where my foot is, like it's like if I think about the extension of my leg from this point to this point, it's probably about halfway. That's the point where I want to be initiating that impact. Understand? Well, that's really strong. Like if I'm going to kick like this is how most of you do it. Okay. And like he knows I'm coming. Like I have to kick. Kick. You understand? Everyone is doing this. Like it's our bread and butter. Maige Oizuki is our bread and butter. And if you can't do it, then you can't do it.